By June 1940, the continent of Europe lay entirely under the shadow of the swastika. The rapid collapse of the French army left Great Britain completely isolated, facing a victorious and seemingly invincible German war machine across the narrow waters of the English Channel. Adolf Hitler confidently expected the British government to sue for a negotiated peace, but he had not anticipated the stubborn defiance of Winston Churchill. The new Prime Minister made it clear that Britain would fight on, forcing Germany to contemplate an unprecedented military option. In July 1940, Hitler issued Directive 16, ordering the preparation of an amphibious invasion of the British mainland, codenamed Operation Sea Lion. To cross the English Channel, however, the German military first required absolute air superiority to keep the Royal Navy at bay. The supreme task of securing the skies fell to Hermann Goring and his Luftwaffe. If German bombers and fighters could destroy the Royal Air Force, German infantry could cross the Channel safely. The entire success of the invasion rested on the shoulders of the German airmen. The English Channel was more than just a body of water, it was a formidable tactical barrier. Without specialized landing craft, the Kriegsmarine had to assemble a primitive fleet of flat-bottomed river barges that were highly vulnerable to even the slightest sea swells. To defend the home islands, the British relied on a revolutionary air defence network known as the Dowding system. This network integrated radio direction finding, telephone communications, and fighter scrambling into a single cohesive shield that could detect and intercept incoming attacks. At the heart of this shield were the chain home radar stations. These giant steel transmitters emitted continuous radio waves across the Channel, providing the Royal Air Force with invaluable early warning of German air formations before they even crossed the French coast. Radar data was instantly transmitted to the central filter room at Bentley Priory. Here, the incoming raids were filtered, verified and plotted, allowing command staff to make rapid, calculated decisions about which squadrons to scramble and where to direct them. Under the brilliant tactical command of Air Vice Marshal Keith Park, 11 Group defended the vital southeastern sector. Park's fighters did not fly continuous patrols. Instead, guided by radar, they scrambled only when needed, intercepting the Luftwaffe at the perfect altitude. Historically, the Luftwaffe completely misunderstood the critical role of radar. German military intelligence, led by General Josef Schmid, believed the radar towers were unimportant, difficult to hit, and that the British relied primarily on visual observers rather than radio location. On August 12, 1940, the elite German fighter-bomber squadron Erprobungsgruppe 210 launched a series of precise experimental strikes on British radar stations. Their dive-bombing tactics were highly effective, showing that the chain home network was far from invulnerable. The raid on Ventnor on the Isle of Wight knocked the station completely offline. For nearly 2 weeks, a massive blind spot was ripped into the British air defence network, proving that a concentrated and sustained German campaign could easily blind fighter command. Yet because the steel towers remained standing, German pilots reported the raids had failed. Believing radar was too difficult to destroy, Goring ordered a halt to further radar strikes, a decision that saved the Royal Air Force and cost Germany the war. But what if Goring had ignored his faulty intelligence? In our alternative timeline, the Luftwaffe adopts a disciplined, relentless, radar-first campaign, prioritizing the systematic and permanent destruction of the chain-home network as their top operational objective. Day after day, German dive bombers systematically target the wooden receiver antennas, the nearby power stations, and the underground communication cables. The steel towers are shattered, and the delicate electronic equipment inside the concrete cabins is completely obliterated. Within a fortnight, the entire chain-home network along the English Channel is completely dismantled. The Dowding system is plunged into total darkness, stripped of its electronic eyes, and forced to rely entirely on the visual sightings of the Observer Corps. Without early warning, British fighters are scrambled too late. Instead of intercepting the Germans from a position of advantage, RAF squadrons are caught at low altitude or struck while still climbing, completely neutralizing their tactical edge. The Luftwaffe then turns its full weight onto the sector stations of 11 Group. Airfields like Biggin Hill and Kenley are pounded relentlessly. The underground operations rooms, the brains of fighter command, are shattered, severing the telephone lines that coordinated the defense. By early September 1940, the Royal Air Force in southeastern England is broken. Pilots are exhausted, and ground communications are in ruins. The Luftwaffe has achieved what it historically could not: absolute air superiority over the landing zones. With the skies secured, Hitler gives the order for S-Day. On September 21, 1940, the makeshift German invasion fleet set sail from the ports of occupied France and Belgium, beginning the crossing of the English Channel. This was a primitive and dangerous armada. Over 2,000 flat-bottomed river barges built for calm inland waters are towed across the sea at a crawling speed of just 3 knots, packed with vulnerable infantry, horses, and light equipment. But the German victory is a temporary illusion. From their northern base at Scapa Flow and southern ports, the Royal Navy's home fleet steam toward the Channel. Even without air cover, the British warships move under the absolute safety of the night sky. The clash is a massacre. Under the cover of darkness, British destroyers slice through the slow, helpless German barge columns. The massive physical wake generated by the high-speed warships capsizes the flat-bottomed rivercraft without the destroyers even firing a shot. The Wargame at Sandhurst in 1974 confirmed the inescapable verdict of the English Channel. Even with air superiority, the Luftwaffe could not stop the Royal Navy. Operation Sea Lion was a logistical impossibility, a dry land army's fatal gamble against the wet gap of British naval supremacy.